Good morning, I'm Teacher Rose, and welcome to Contemporary Philippine Art from the region. For today's presentation, it will cover the initial subject matter of the contemporary Philippine art from the region, which emphasize on contemporary art forms and practices from the region and on various art forms. First, let me introduce the meaning of art from various sources, its importance and functions. It also gives the definition of art appreciation and what subject of art means. Nature of art. It's derived from the Latin word ars or artis, which means to do or man-made. It is a medium of expression because we express our ideas, emotions, feelings without using words. Creative activity that involves skill or expertise in handling materials and organizing them into something applied to express ideas by the use of skill and imagination in the creation of objects and experiences that can be shared to others. Art is derived from Latin word ars, meaning ability or skill, according to J.B. Stolas. According to Aitan, art is taken from the Italian word artis, which means craftsmanship, skill, master of form exists between material and technique. According to Arsalweta, art is a product of man's need to express himself. Art is the communication of ideas and feelings by means of medium, color, sound, bronze, marble, words, and film, according to C. Sanchez. Art is the beauty of the world, according to Plato. According to J. Dewey, art is an attitude of spirit, a state of mind one, which demands for its own satisfaction and fulfilling. And according to Russia, art is the skillful arrangement of nature, such as colors, sounds, lines, movements, words, stones, wood, etc., and to express human feelings. Next is the importance of art. It satisfies the needs for personal expression, develops our skills to express ourselves, challenges us to see things differently, unleashes our hidden desires and passion, can change our ways in life, sees the truth that we might not understand before, give us pleasure, satisfaction, and gratification. Functions of art. Most important means of expression developed by man to express beauty, to give man moment of relaxation and spiritual happiness, to serve as a channel of man's passion, to reform man, to overcome the feelings of restlessness and loneliness. Next is art appreciation. It is the ability to interpret or understand man-made arts and enjoy them either through actual and work experience with tools and materials or possession of these works for satisfaction. Work of art, an activity that involves both imagination and skill in accomplishing it. A thing of beauty having aesthetic value, obra maestra that provides aesthetic value to viewers, must have an artistic and literary merit, a symbolic state of meaning rather having a practical function. Subject of art. The subject matter may vary, usually anything that is represented in the artwork. It may be a person, object, scene, or event. In the various art forms, I will enumerate different classification of art forms. The different classification of art forms are by the audience, by critics, by an artist, and other classifications. Art forms by the audience. It focuses on how audience classify arts. Performing arts involves the use of an artist's body as a medium, an art form that requires movement from one place to another. Example, plays, movies, live music, movies or TV shows, operas, mimes, puppet shows, acrobatics, dances, and ballets. Visual arts usually exists in two-dimensional form and stays in one place, something that we see and hear. Literature. Narratives or works that are literary in nature and primarily deals with imaginative and artistic writing. Example, prose and poetry. Sculptural, a three-dimensional form that we can touch, see, and climb. It stays in one place. Example, monuments, architectural designs, rice terraces, rock gardens, Eiffel Tower, Statue of Liberty, flower gardens, water fountains, and buildings. Art forms by critics. It focuses on how people judge art. Major arts or fine arts. Those that include music, literature, sculpture, painting, dance, theater, photography, and architecture. Minor arts or applied arts. Those that include ceramics, furniture, lettering, etc. Under minor arts are pure art and practical art. Pure art created and performed for others' sake and for audience satisfaction. Example, watching movie. Practical art with a purpose for practical use. Example, chair and table. Art forms by an artist, characterized by physical and special senses. We have sight art, sound art, and touch art. Sight art are something that you can see, imagine, and create. Example, painting, drawing, mosaic crafting, drafting, stage designing, and graphic designing. Sound art are something that you can hear. Example, prose, poetry, play, and music. Touch art are something that you can feel or touch. Example, sculpture, carving, woodcraft, pottery, and dance movement. The other classification of art forms are real art and abstract art. Real art are something that is understandable. What you see is what you get. Objective and representational. Example, photography, stage play, dance, sculpture, and architecture. Abstract art, non-subject matter, non-representational, but technique, focus, and style-oriented. Example, Grade 3 by Piet Mondrian. the contemporary arts from the regions. In this presentation, I will elucidate the meaning of contemporary arts and contemporary Philippine arts. I will also exhibit some art forms that can be found in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Contemporary arts. Contemporary art generally refers to art being created now. So contemporary is derived from the Latin prefix con, which means together or with, plus tempus, which means time. The chronological view defines contemporary art as related to this current period in art history and refers to art that is new, recent, modern, or pertains to the present moment. The historical usage, meanwhile, regards contemporary art as a specific stage in the story of the evolution of art, referring to a specific location in space and time. According to Quara.com or Quara.com, contemporary art forms refer to field of art such as painting, drawing, dancing, music, sculpture, architecture, and among others. According to Wikipedia.org, contemporary art is the art of today and produced in the second half of the 20th century or in the 21st century. Contemporary artists work in a globally influenced, culturally diverse, and technologically advanced world. Contemporary art, in most cases, define it as art that has been and continuously being created during our lifetime. Example: the artist is using different computer software on his or her artwork. During the 21st century, these art forms include photography, graphic design, and animation. Contemporary art is the art of the modern world, created in the last half of the 21st century. Contemporary or modern-day artists work in an internationally inclined, culturally and ethnically diverse, and technologically and scientifically forward-moving world. Their art is a vigorous arrangement of resources, approaches, impressions, and themes that linger the thought-provoking limitations that was previously well in progress in the 20th century. Contemporary art as a breaking of norms. Contemporary art can be seen as a transgression of established norms and rules. Established art forms are scrutinized, and contemporary art rewards them to see them with fresh eyes. Contemporary art is ruled by the cult of the new, endeavoring to create works of art that are radical and interdisciplinary. Appropriation is an important preoccupation in contemporary art, which is the practice of creating a new work by taking a pre-existing image or from another context and combining the borrowed image with new ones. Contemporary art and local heritage. Contemporary art professes an awareness of local heritage, which is something that can be passed from one generation to the next, can be conserved or inherited, and has historic or cultural value. Functions of contemporary art. Contemporary art for pleasure. A visual delight in the work of art can take many forms, including an appreciation of beauty or decoration, or delight in an element of surprise. Most cultures that have a definition of beautiful define it as something pleasing to the eye and often resembling an ideal of some sort. Contemporary art as profession. Artists earn a living through their art since art and ideas are never free. They possess value in the complex web of the creative industries that combine the creation, production, and commercialization of creative contents, which are tangible and cultural in nature. Contemporary art as commentary. Art has been used to answer our need for information. Artists who fulfill our need for commentary often speak in a language easy to understand. They view art as primary goal to communication by means of subject matter. Contemporary art in spirituality. Artists may create art to express spiritual beliefs about the destiny of life controlled by the force of a higher power. Contemporary art as a remembrance. Art can be remembrance, which is something done as an aid to memory. We need to commemorate important events and people that have shaped our history and show reverence for those who have gone before us. Contemporary art as self-expression. Art fulfills an expressive function when an artist conveys information about his or her personality, feelings, or worldview. Contemporary Philippine arts or Philippine contemporary arts. The art of the Philippines refers to the works of art that have developed and accumulated in the Philippines from the beginning of civilization in the country up to the present era. According to Santos, in Philippine art as in its culture, one notes the various shades, lines and tones, and even the contrasting characters that have been absorbed and blended into new forms that are particularly Filipino. Contemporary arts began during the 1950s after World War II. Artists began to experiment various procedures and various methods of communicating their feelings, perspectives, thoughts, and different things that they needed to communicate through arts. They were viewed as contemporary artists in light of the fact that their styles and methods of making artworks veered away from that of customary workmanship. As time changed, innovation, individuals' thoughts, issues, needs, and support changed as well. Contemporary art would now be able to be discovered any place artists can put their work. It isn't kept in historical centers. Contemporary Philippine arts tends to be found in the various displays, art schools, side lanes, and open spaces like trade or transport stations, shopping centers, parks, and malls. Along these lines, what is basic in contemporary art is the procedure of art making. For most, it is not how much cash they make from their last work, but the message it wants to convey. Last but not the least is the contemporary art forms from the regions. It refers to art forms that are developing in various regions of the Philippines that relied on the existing materials in a specific region or province. For example, natives of Batanes or the Abatans, they use a headgear called bakul. It is made from the fibers of buyabuy palm to protect them from the scorching heat of the sun while working on their farmlands. This particular headgear is also a substitute to umbrella in rainy season. Another example of regional art forms are the vases and statues crafted in the Cordillera region, particularly in Baguio and Benguet area. These statues are similar to the statues used by the indigenous people in rituals intended for thanksgiving for rich harvest, to repel sinister, and for celebration of marriages and in conducting funeral. Some of these statues, together with paintings and other art forms, are now part of Philippine indigenous arts. In the province of Marinduque, those who partake in the celebration of Moriones Festival use Morion masks to portray the Roman soldiers and Syrian mercenaries in the story of the Passion of the Christ. The Moriones denotes the mass and costume penitents who march around the town for 7 days searching for Longinus. These masks were intricately painted with colorful designs that symbolize Roman culture, costumes, and traditions. In the Visayan region, Mascara, which means mask, is a prominent feature of the festival, which also bears the same name. Mascara are always ornamented with smiling faces, giving rise to Bacolod being named the City of Smiles. Inhabitants of the Panay Islands are also known for having tattoos or pinta, which symbolizes their kaisugan or valor or bravery. These tattoos are called pinta, which make Visayan people of Iloilo and Panay regions to earn the name Pintados, which later became the name of their festival. In Mindanao area, Muslim people of Zamboanga are renowned for their colorful bintas. Binta is a traditional outrigger boat of Mindanao Islands. Bintas are characterized by their colorful rectangular lag, sails or bukay, and bifurcated prows and sterns, which resemble the gaping mouth of a crocodile. Binta are used as fishing vessels, cargo ship, and houseboats. Tribes of Mindanao are also known for tinalak, a traditional cloth made by a group of people in Lake Cebu, or South Cotabato called tibulis. This traditional cloth is hand-woven made of abaca fibers, which traditionally has 3 primary colors: red, black, and the original color of the abaca leaves. The colorants of the materials are naturally dissolved in with bark, roots, and leaves. Tibulis believes that they cannot create a design of the tinalak if they have not dreamed of it. Therefore, they are sometimes called the dream weavers. Lastly, Sarimanok, the legendary bird that has become an ubiquitous symbol of Maranao art. It is depicted as a whole with colorful wings and feathered tail, holding a fish on its beak or talons. The head is profusely decorated with scroll, leaf, and spiral motifs. It is said to be a symbol of good fortune. Again, I'm Teacher Rose, saying, share love to everybody, be a blessing to everyone. Thank you.